1914, Nigeria is born by decree. But on the ground, the reality was a paradox. A single colony, governed by two different systems, indirect rule in the Muslim north, and a more coercive direct administration in the south. For the people, this didn't feel like a birth. It felt like a cage being locked, and the first reaction to a cage is to rattle its bars. Resistance didn't start in 1914, it preceded it. Groups like the Ekumeku in Igboland had fought a guerrilla war for over 2 decades against the Royal, Niger Company and later British troops. Theirs was a fight for sovereignty, fought with muskets, machetes, and deep knowledge of the forest. They were the old guard, defending a world order that was being erased. In the north, millennial, Islamic movements like the Satiru Rebellion saw the British as infidel invaders, launching doomed but fierce uprisings. These were not yet nationalist movements. They were the final violent breaths of the old kingdoms. Then the world cracked open. World War I, thousands of Nigerian soldiers were conscripted to fight and die for a British Empire in a German African colony. They returned home with new perspectives, skills, and a corrosive question. Why were they good enough to die for the empire, but not to run it? The post-war economy faltered. The colonial answer? More control, more extraction. When officials tried to tax the market women of Igboland in 1929, they sparked Ogu Umunwanyi, the Women's War. This was a new resistance, not with guns, but with sheer mass, culture, and moral authority. It was a shock to the colonial system, proving that power could be challenged from outside the barrel of a gun. From the soil of soldiering and the fire of women's protest, a new idea finally crystallized: Nigerian nationalism. Its first weapon was the newspaper. Men like Herbert Macaulay used journalism to expose colonial corruption and argue for rights. His Nigerian National Democratic Party, NNDP, formed in 1923, was the first modern political party, though its reach was limited to Lagos. Then came Nnamdi Azikiwe. Returning from America in 1937, Zik didn't just report news, he weaponized it. His West African pilot became the megaphone for a generation. He didn't just ask for reforms, he planted the radical idea of self-government. Then, World War II, another global cataclysm that would become Nigeria's greatest catalyst. The demand for soldiers and resources was insatiable. The colonial rhetoric shifted. This was a war for freedom and democracy against tyranny. Nigerian soldiers fought across the world. They returned not just with skills, but with an unanswerable argument. If we are good enough to fight for your freedom, we are good enough to have our own. By 1945, the cage was rattling violently. The old localized resistance of the Ekumeku was gone. In its place stood a new, educated, politically organized class, armed with a powerful moral claim and a continent-wide sense of destiny.